for the latest reactions coming out of Washington. We can cross now to our correspondent, Kethevane Gorjestani. Now, Kethevane, the U.S. has just announced sanctions in reactions to Putin's speech earlier. What are the sanctions and who do they target?
Well, we just got a statement from the press secretary, Jen Psaki, and she said that the White House had anticipated such a move by the Russians and was ready to respond immediately, announcing that Joe Biden will be signing an executive order to implement those sanctions being the banning of new investment, trade, or financing by U.S. persons in those two separatist regions that were just recognized as independent by the Russian President Vladimir Putin. That statement goes on to say that the Treasury and the State Department will be giving out more details shortly. And it also adds that the White House would announce additional measures related to today's blatant violation of Russia's international commitments. So we might be seeing more to come. This is really just the first salvo, if you will, of these sanctions, really replying immediately almost to that speech by Vladimir Putin and to the recognition of those two separatist regions. The other thing that the statement points to and insists on is that these sanctions are really just unilateral and should be seen as separate from the sanctions package that is being coordinated by the United States and its allies, NATO allies, European allies. And so these are really just the U.S. reacting, and that this coordination and this possible larger sanctions package that comes with the insistence that it's in case of an invasion, that is separate from what the White House is announcing right now. We'll, of course, be getting more details, but this came really within hours of Vladimir Putin recognizing those two as he says, independent regions. And the Americans were clearly prepared for such a move, as the statement points to.
Now, could all these recent developments effectively torpedo a last-minute bid for a summit with Vladimir Putin and U.S. President Joe Biden?
Well, the Secretary of State, Tony Blinken, who is supposed to be meeting with his Russian counterpart, Sergei Lavrov, on Thursday, even before the possibility of that summit between the two presidents, that could also be in jeopardy, because the Secretary said in the past few days that this meeting with his Russian counterpart was not necessarily going to happen, and it was all dependent on Russia's moves in the next few days. Whether they see this latest move by Vladimir Putin as something that would come to cancel this meeting, it is a possibility. We haven't heard directly from the White House on this topic, this being, of course, here in the United States, a federal holiday, so everything is sort of a little bit stalled right now in the government, but we might be getting an update about that, about the meeting between Tony Blinken and Sergei Lavrov. And if that doesn't happen, obviously the meeting between Joe Biden and Vladimir Putin, that would be off the table also. So it's really just a question of time to see whether the Americans see this move by Vladimir Putin as something that really basically shows them that the Russians are not willing to negotiate it in good faith, which is what the Americans have been saying all along. We will continue diplomacy as long as we can and as long as we feel like the Russians are basically playing ball.
All right. Thank you for that update, Kethevane Gorjestani, reporting live for us there from Washington.